Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel, All Wings Everything, and I am your cook, Spinelli. Now in today's video, I got a special recipe, cheesy jalapeno barbecue wings. Now the name itself breaks all the rules. Now check this out, the recipe is going to break all the rules. So I want you guys to stick with me and follow me in this recipe. You guys are gonna love this recipe. I'm telling you, I love it. The wings are amazing, and I can't say enough about how good and tasty and flavorful they are. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll see you guys in the kitchen. I'm already in mine, so let's go. Alright everyone, here are the ingredients we're going to use for today's recipe. So let's start off with our Publix green-wise chicken. We have some barbecue sauce, dry minced onions. We have jalapeno slices in jalapeno juice. We have onion powder, garlic powder, hot sauce. We have some nacho cheese. We also have fresh cheddar cheese and some smoked Gouda, and I have here a season mix of my own personal season that I made. And so these are the ingredients we're going to use for today's recipe. So let's get started. So I've already measured out the ingredients for today's recipe. So I've cleaned and cut my chicken, and I have 2 tablespoons of that dried minced onions. I have 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. I have 1 teaspoon of onion powder. I have 1.5 cups of the jalapeno juice. I have 1 cup of barbecue sauce. I have 1/2 cup of nacho cheese. I have 1/2 cup of hot sauce. And I have 1/4 cup of diced jalapenos. And I have about 2 cups of cheese, 1.5 cups of shredded cheddar, and 1/2 cup of the smoked Gouda. And I also have 2 tablespoons of my seasoning blend. That's what we're going to use today. So let's move on. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our jalapeno juice and we're going to pour it over our wings, and we're going to let our wings marinate in this juice for 2 hours minimum, maximum 24 hours. So make sure you submerge all pieces of your chicken in the juice. If you have more pieces of chicken, then you may want to use more juice. So what you do, you want to either cover your lid if you're putting it in a bowl, or if you got a Ziploc bag, you want to zip it up and put it in the freezer. Put it in the refrigerator, and I'll see you once the marinating is complete. All right, so what we're going to do in this step is we're going to take either a cutting board, or you could take a pan and line it with paper towels, and you want to remove your chicken pieces from your marinating bag or bowl and add it to the paper towels. And once you do this, you're going to take another set of paper towels and you're going to pat your chicken dry. So make sure you pat your chicken dry before we move on to our next step. All right, so let's move on. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to season our chicken. So I got about 2 tablespoons of my dry season rub, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit over the chicken. Again, you can use regular salt and pepper, it's fine, or you can use seasoned salt or whatever seasoning you use for your poultry. Anything will work, but I'm using my seasoned salt, so go ahead and season your chicken. And once you do that, we'll move on to the next step. All right, so what we're going to do next is in this recipe is we're going to heat up our pan with some olive oil. And what we want to do is we just want to sear the chicken on both sides before we start our actual cooking process of this chicken. So you don't have to do this. You can skip that step, but I like to sear it. It gives it a little bit more flavor, especially since it's already been marinated in the jalapeno sauce. So if you sear it a little bit in some olive oil, gives it some additional flavor. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sear my pieces on both sides. You don't have to leave it in there, or you don't want to leave it in there for too long, maybe about 45 seconds to a minute on both sides. And once you sear all your piece of chicken, remove them from the pan, and then we'll move on. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take a baking dish, and we're just going to spray it with some cooking spray. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take those seared chicken pieces, and we're going to add them to the pan, skin side down. Doesn't really matter how far apart they are, because you are going to be cooking them in a sauce. So just go ahead and add your chicken pieces to the cooking dish, and then we'll move on. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to prepare our barbecue sauce. So take your hot sauce and add it to your bowl with the barbecue sauce. Next, take your garlic powder, add it. Then take your onion powder and add your onion powder. And lastly, add your dried minced onions. And what you're going to do at this point, you're going to give it a good stir to combine all the ingredients. And once you do that, we'll move on to our next step. All right, so let's keep this thing going. So what we're going to do now is take our barbecue sauce that we made, and we're going to pour that over our wings. Make sure the barbecue sauce is on all the wings. Take a spoon and move the barbecue sauce around to make sure that it's on all of the wings. And once you do that, we'll move on to the next step. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take those wings and we're going to place them in the oven. And I've already preheated my oven to 400 degrees. So we're going to take those wings, place them in the oven, and we're going to cook them for 35 minutes. And after that 35 minutes, we're going to remove them and turn them over and cook them for an additional 35 minutes. So go ahead, set your timer, and I'll see you guys in 35 minutes. All right, so now it's been 35 minutes. So we're going to pull these bad babies out, take a look at them, and let's give them a good flip. So let's go ahead and turn our chicken over to the other side, allow them to cook on the other side, and we'll move on to our next step. All right, so now our wings are done. Let's take a look at them. All right, we're going to remove them from the oven, place them on the counter, and we're going to take a good look at them before we continue the process. Take a look at this, guys. Don't these things look good? I know you guys are getting hungry right about now. All right, so let's go ahead and continue this recipe so we can get to this final product. All right, let's move on. All right, so what we're going to do in this step, we're going to remove these chicken pieces from the pan, and we're going to add them to this empty bowl. So go ahead, remove all your chicken pieces, add them to the empty bowl. And once you do that, we'll move on. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take our half a cup of nacho cheese. Keep in mind what I did put the nacho cheese in the microwave for about a minute just to get it more liquidy because it was kind of thick. And what you want to do is you want to take that nacho cheese, pour it over your wings, and now take some tongs and kind of move the wings around in the sauce, or you can cover it up and do a little shaky bake if you want to. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my tongs, giving them a little stir. Make sure you get all the sauce on the wings and take a look at them real quick. And let's go ahead and continue. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take those wings, we're gonna add them back to that baking dish. I went ahead and I cleaned the baking dish, so I wanted to, put the wings in a clean baking dish. So add those wings back in a clean baking dish, or you can use the one that you had. Doesn't matter. And once you add those wings back to the baking dish, what you want to do next is take your diced jalapenos, and you want to take, maybe half of that, and you want to sprinkle it over the chicken. So probably about 1/8 of a cup, you want to sprinkle it over the chicken. You got about 1/4 cup of jalapenos. So take 1/8 of a cup, sprinkle it over the chicken. And next, what you're going to do is you're going to take those 2 cups of shredded cheese. Remember, you did about 1.5 cups of cheddar and 1/2 cup of smoked Gouda, and just sprinkle that over your chicken pieces. And the reason why I did the jalapenos first is because I want the cheese to melt on top of the jalapenos, attaching that jalapeno to that chicken. And once you do that, we're gonna add these back into the oven and let the cheese melt for you may wanna do it for about 10 minutes. And once you do that, we'll move on. All right, so I've removed the chicken from the oven after putting it back in the oven for 10 minutes to allow the cheese to melt. So let's take a look at it real quick. What do you guys think about that? Doesn't that look good? Yes, it looks amazing. You got appetite yet? All right, so let's go ahead and finish this process. I know you guys are drooling. I am too. And I want to go ahead and finish this up because I got a special place in my stomach that I want to take these wings. All right, so let's move on. All right, so let's go ahead and remove our chicken pieces from our baking dish and add it to a clean plate. Be gentle with it. You don't want to remove any of that good cheese off of these nice wings. So go ahead and remove all your chicken pieces, and we will go ahead and finalize our last step. And holy guacamole, cheesy jalapeno barbecue wings. Now, what do you have to say about these? These things look better than amazing. Take a look at this, folks. Smoked Gouda, fresh grated cheddar cheese, diced jalapenos, barbecue sauce, chicken wings, all in one recipe. Did we not break all the rules of cooking? Who said it couldn't be done? Take a look at that. If you got a hat on, you better take it off to this. All right, guys, so now it's time for me to do a little taste test. I like to call it a quality control, just to make sure that these wings are up to par. So let me grab me one. Man, they're still hot. These things look so good. Oh my God. These things taste great. You guys have to try this. You guys have to try this recipe. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please leave a comment below and let me know what you think. I love to hear from you. And until next time, and I'm out. Peace. All right, everyone. I know you enjoyed that video. I am at a loss for words with this recipe. The wings, I tell you, they came out so good. So good. I hope you guys followed me, and if you did, I know you're loving this recipe, and for those who didn't, I know you're gonna love it. As soon as you make these things, please leave a comment below. I'm telling you, I can't stop thinking about the wings, that cheesy sauce, the jalapenos. I'm telling you guys, this is a great recipe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you like the video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. And please share this video with your friends. So the next time you guys have a get together, these wings should be on the menu. I'm telling you. And until then, I'm your cook, Spinelli, and we at All Wings Everything, and I am out. Peace. Everybody stand up. Introducing the one and only, the most anticipated and highly underrated